Thank you for joining me today for an introduction to the NetApp Snap Creator framework. Before we get started today, I wanted to take a moment and draw your attention to the octopus in the title slide. This little guy was created to represent Snap Creator. Notice that the arms of the octopus end in several different types of plugs, indicating Snap Creator's ability to plug into multiple applications. We hope you'll be seeing a lot more of the Snap Creator octopus. For our agenda today, we'll cover an overview of the Snap Creator framework. Next, we'll talk about the architecture of Snap Creator. Then we'll address highlights of the latest version of Snap Creator, version 3.6. Next, we'll address the Snap Creator development community. And finally, we'll have a brief summary and show where you can get more information. The first thing we'll cover is an overview of the NetApp Snap Creator framework. What this really comes down to is, why would you want to use Snap Creator? Recently, I was speaking to a member of NetApp's professional service team, and he shared with me an experience that he recently had. He went to a customer site, and using Snap Creator, he was able to deploy a complete backup and recovery solution for Lotus Domino in under 45 minutes. He and the customer were both completely blown away by how much functionality Snap Creator provided with such a short time to deploy. In short, Snap Creator drastically increased operational efficiency. The Snap Creator development community is the fuel behind this fire. It allows us to increase our operational efficiency as well, by decreasing cycles spent in synchronous activities and having to reinvent the wheel. How much faster does this allow us to deliver? Snap Creator is on roughly a 6-month cadence. However, we also deliver community releases, which are also on a 6-month cadence. The end result is there is a new release of Snap Creator every 3 months. Snap Creator is a framework. And when we say it's a framework, we mean that it's a single pane of glass that allows you to take any application within your environment and create a mechanism to back up, clone, restore, or whatever it is that you need to do with your application. It runs on multiple operating systems, and it is truly built with flexibility in mind. Snap Creator is built around a server agent model and uses plugins to integrate with applications. We also allow custom commands to be run within Snap Creator, allowing you to build a solution that meets your requirements. Snap Creator handles all the integration with NetApp data management, allowing you to focus on what it is that you want to do with your application. We're also helping you to transform for the cloud. We allow tiering of multiple configurations, as well as global configurations that allow storage credentials to be isolated from application settings. Finally, Snap Creator has VMware and vCloud capabilities for enabling anything as a service. When should you use Snap Creator versus something like Snap Manager or Snap Protect? Sometimes there is some confusion on which product to look at. Part of this is because these are complementary programs. You don't have to use one or the other. You can use a combination. For example, some customers are using Snap Creator to centralize all of their applications. So they will use the plugin for Snap Manager for Exchange and use Snap Creator to drive the SME backups. This allows a single interface to your environment. There are some instances where you might want to use a Snap Manager over Snap Creator, and we've tried to capture some of this information on this slide. A specific example of positioning is when to use Snap Manager for Oracle instead of Snap Creator with the Oracle plugin. Again, this slide tries to capture some examples of this information. Now that you know a little bit about Snap Creator, let's discuss the architecture. First, we're going to cover the server architecture, then the agent architecture, and we'll discuss how they work together. The Snap Creator server architecture consists of 4 components. The main component is the Snap Creator engine. This provides integration with NetApp storage systems and other products such as DFM through Zappy, or the Zephyr API. The next component is the configuration file. In many ways, the config file is the heart of Snap Creator, as it controls what Snap Creator does. The config file allows you to build a workflow around backup and restore and defines your solution. You can have as many configuration files as you need, but you only run one at any given time. The next component is an optional plugin. Plugins provide integration for applications, and there are three different types of plugins. First, we have application plugins. These provide quiesce and unquiesce actions and possibly advanced restore functionality. We have application plugins for Oracle, MySQL, DB2, Lotus Domino, and many more, and these are supported by NetApp Support. The second type of plugins are virtualization plugins. These plugins interface with virtualization platforms, and many of these also allow the use of an application plugin as well, so you can quiesce an application and then the VM it resides on. Examples of virtualization plugins are KVM, Citrix Zen, VMware vCloud Director, and VMware vSphere. And these are also supported by NetApp Support. The third type of plugin is community plugins. These plugins are created by the SnapCreator developer community, which we'll discuss more in detail shortly. These plugins are often created by end users who need quiesce, unquiesce functionality for an application not currently covered by a plugin. These plugins are available for use, but are not supported by NetApp Support. Examples of community plugins are Informix, PostgreSQL, and Cache Database. The last component is also an optional component, but is used by most people and is highly recommended, and that's the SnapCreator GUI. The GUI is browser-based and contains simple wizards that automate tasks like configuration file creation and restore operations. The GUI also has a powerful scheduler, a job monitor, and reporting tools. Here is the architecture of the SnapCreator agent. SnapCreator uses the SnapCreator agent to handle application integration through plugins, which run as a daemon, to quiesce, unquiesce application, as well as perform many other actions. SOAP, or Simple Object Access Protocol, is used over HTTP for communications. Based on a WSDL, or Web Service Definition language, any SOAP client can interact with the agent. Currently, Apache CXF for Java and PowerShell for Windows can be used. The supported application plugins are built into the agent. All SnapCreator configurations are stored centrally on the SnapCreator server, and all backup jobs can be scheduled from the same host through the GUI. This provides our single pane of glass for backup, restore, and cloning. Here's how the SnapCreator server and agent work together. As mentioned, SnapCreator has a full-featured server agent architecture. SnapCreator actions are initiated by the server. Communication to the agent by default occurs on port 9090, but this is fully customizable. The agent handles application quiesce and unquiesce commands, as well as other pre or post commands. ZAPI calls to the storage system occur on the SnapCreator server over port 80 or 443. Here's an illustration of backing up data using Server Agent Model and Protection Manager for data protection. First, the SnapCreator server sends a command to the agent telling it to quiesce the application so no more data is written to the storage. Then the SnapCreator server sends the command to take the snapshots. After the snapshots are taken, the SnapCreator server sends a command to the agent to unquiesce the application. You could also use Protection Manager to take consistent backups of the application data. Next, we'll move on to the features of the latest version of SnapCreator, version 3.6. On the core, or CLI, we added improvements to Protection Manager integration, a new custom parameter, support for external snapshots, which will allow SnapCreator to manage snapshots taken by SnapManager, enhanced snapshot cleanup and improved failure scenarios, support for CIFS, and new plugin workflows. We also made some improvements to the GUI as well. We're now able to create and use global configurations from the GUI. We can also delete clones, and we added mount and unmount actions. We redesigned the configuration wizard for better ease of use, and we added custom parameters for certain actions. Finally, we improved several things in the UI to make SnapCreator easier to use. For plugins, we added new virtualization plugins for Citrix Zen and KVM. We also added an offline backup mode to the Oracle plugin. And finally, we added several restore enhancements to the Domino plugin, adding single database restores through the new custom action for LUN environments, and both up-to-the-minute and selectable point-in-time restore operations for volume restores. Next, I want to take a few minutes to discuss the Snap Creator development community. As mentioned earlier, Snap Creator is developed using a community model. Anyone can get involved by signing up at www.snapcreator.com. The screenshot's an example of what you see when you go to the Snap Creator website. This gives you options to download the community releases, get documentation and information about Snap Creator, including videos like this one, join the Snap Creator community, or go to the community site in GitHub. GitHub is what the Snap Creator team uses to develop Snap Creator. GitHub is a code sharing site that is used to collaboratively build software. Feature requests, bug fixes, improvements, and more is all available on GitHub for anyone with an account to see. There are several different community roles available, so if you're interested in contributing to the Snap Creator community, please join and become a part of Snap Creator. Finally, it's time to summarize what we've discussed and provide a list of resources. Snap Creator is a framework for integrating application through plugins. Snap Creator allows partners or customers to build their own unique application solutions. And finally, Snap Creator plugins can be NetApp provided and supported, or community plugins. Here's a basic list of where you can go to get more information about Snap Creator. Additionally, as of Snap Creator 3.6, there is a new resources section in the Snap Creator GUI. Simply click the Help button and then click Resources to get a window that lists the resources for Snap Creator that are available. Links open in a new browser window. Snap Creator is a fantastic product that is helping people to use all the goodness of NetApp in an easy-to-use and highly customizable package, and I am very pleased to be involved with it. I thank you for your time today and hope that you have found this introduction to the NetApp Snap Creator framework to be useful.